Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Tony. In part one of this video, we made a call out title. And if you haven't watched that yet, then you can follow the link to watch it now. In this second part, we're going to take multiple copies of this call out title and we're going to track them to a shot using the Fusion page. Okay, we have a clip here on the timeline and you can find a link to this in the description below. I want to do a couple of things to start with. So the beginning of this clip, it's kind of a bit wobbly. So I'm going to trim the beginning here. So when that light goes out of shot, I will cut the beginning off. And then I will right click on it and click on New Fusion Clip. And then we can go into Fusion. Okay, we're in Fusion now and let's start. So we're going to track 3 points on this house. I'm going to track the middle window, the right window, and the garage door. And what I'm going to do is actually turn off high quality and motion blur because my system isn't super fast. So if you have a slower system, you can turn these off. So right click and just uncheck these. Okay. And so we'll bring in a tracker and we'll track our 3 points. So click on media in, do shift and space, and then you can type in tracker and then select this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the first frame here. And then we're going to track this window. So if I zoom in a bit, you can see the tracker's been added up here. And there are 2 boxes. So the center box with this kind of crosshair. So the center of the crosshair is where you put your point. And the kind of feature will go into this center box, the point that you're going to track. And also the outer box is the area where the tracker will look for this kind of feature. So to move it, you can click on this little square here and then just drag it. And I'm going to track the corner of this window here. So let's just move this over. So somewhere like this. And what I'll do is I'll make this a bit smaller so we're not looking in such a large area. And the same with this one. It will also track a bit quicker if you're not searching in the large area. Okay, so now what we can do is go up here to the inspector and click on this track forward. And I'll speed this up a bit as well. Okay, that's our first point tracked and everything looks okay. So let's track our second point. So again, click on this tracker, do shift and space, add in a second tracker. And this time we're going to track this window over this side. And this time I will go to the end and track forwards. So again, we'll click in this little square and we'll move it over here. And I will position it down here, somewhere like this. Okay, and again, I'll make this middle box smaller and also the outer box so that it's not looking in as big a place, as much area. Okay, good. And now I'll track to the beginning. Okay, so that's our second point tracked. Now let's track our third point. So that's going to be the garage. Now again, I'm going to go to the end here. Make sure I'm right at the end and I'm going to track the corner of this garage here. So let's add another tracker. So select our second tracker, shift and space, and add a third tracker. And then we'll go up here and grab our box and bring it down here. And then we'll position it here on this corner, somewhere like this. Let's just zoom in a bit and make sure we've got that correctly. Yep. Okay, good. And again, we'll make this a bit smaller and the same for the outer box. And this time then we'll search, we'll track backwards. So I'll speed it up again. Okay, great. So that's our tracking done. And now we can bring in our call out titles. In the last tutorial, we made a call out title. And if you haven't seen that, then you can follow the link. If you haven't done that tutorial, then you can download the files package and you'll find this title in there, which you can then import. Okay, so let's bring them in. So go up to Effects and click on Templates. And then we'll come down to the bottom here. And there's one called Tony Callout. So let's bring that one in and close this one up. And then we will group it. So make sure everything is highlighted, right click, and then say group. And what I'm going to do now is just copy and paste it a few times. So we need it twice here, and then we'll rename these. So we'll call this group 2. You can also hit F2 to rename, and then we'll name this one group 3. And this helps us when we edit the keyframes later on, so we know what's going on. And that way we have tracker 3, group 3, tracker 2, group 2, and then tracker 1, group 1. So we're all kind of matching name-wise. All right, so we need to plug in the callout title into our tracker, first of all. And then after our callout, I'm going to add a transform. So come up here, click on transform. And at the moment, we can't see anything, and that's because we need to tell our tracker what to do, basically. So if we click on our tracker and then we go up here to the inspector and we go to operation, we can now change our operation from none to match move. So we click on match move, and now we can see our title. So now we can use our transform here to move our position and change our size. So if we go over here, I'm going to change the size to 0.6, and then I'm going to move our position over here, somewhere like this. In fact, I'm actually going to place it on this corner. But what I want is for it to be kind of going up and to the side, and at the moment it's going down. So we need to add another transform inside our group, and then we need to flip that transform. So if we go into group 1, let's make a bit of room here. We want to move our 2 circles and our line together. Yeah, we want them all to go, basically. So if I highlight all these and move them over, if I add a transform after this merge, then everything before this merge will be flipped. Okay, so click on this merge and then add a transform. And within this transform, so if we go up here and we see these 2 flip buttons. So I want to flip it here vertically. So we do this, and then I can move this in place. So I can just drag it back up. And now we have actually flipped our transform. So we can close this one again, and we'll just keep saving as we go, and then go back to the transform, and we can now put this in place. So as I say, I'm going to put it kind of up here somewhere. So maybe not quite as high, maybe somewhere down here. Okay, good. So that's that one. And let's now bring in, position our second one. So we can plug it in. And again, after group 2, we will add a transform. And again, we need to go into the tracker and tell the tracker what to do. So go here, go into operation, go to none, and then change this to match move. So now we get our second title. Go to transform here and then go to the size and do 0.6, and then we can use this transform to kind of move this one in place as well. And we're also going to flip this one, but we'll do that in a moment. Okay, so for now we'll just kind of put it here, and then let's add our third one. So again, plug it in here, add a transform, and go into our tracker, go to operation, and then change the operation from none to match move. Then we can see this one, go back into our transform, and then change our size to 0.6, and then we can move this one in place and grab this one and move it down. Now this third title I'm going to leave as it is, so I'm not going to manipulate that one, but this middle one I want it to kind of go up and then to the right, so we need to do a little bit more with that one. And what we'll do before we change all those things is we'll just change our text, because we're going to need to add different text because we don't want them all saying the same thing. So to do that, let's go into group 1 here, and we have our 2 text ones here. So we've got title and then we've got subtitle. So if we click on title, and then we can change this. So I'm going to write here spacious homes, and then in here I'm going to write 4 bedrooms. Okay, and then let's drag that one over. something like this. We may need to just manipulate these to get them in the right place. Somewhere like this. Okay, that looks all right. And then we'll go to our second group and we'll do the same thing here. So open the group, go into the title here, and we're going to change this one to, where are we? Let's just double click so we can open it. And we'll change this one to modern insulation. And then the second one we'll change to triple glazing. Triple glazing. Okay, good. All right, so we can now move these in place like this, and then this one as well, like this. And we can, of course, change the fonts if we want to. So if you want to make this one lowercase, then you can do that. Maybe we'll look at that later. And then the final one here, we will change to, so if we close this down, we're going to group 3. Click on the title here, and we'll change this title to double garage, because we're kind of next to the garage here. So double garage. And then we'll write in here, room for 2 cars, maybe 2 very small cars, but anyway. All right, so we've got our things in here, and again we need to just move this one over, and then the same with this one. So let's move that one that way slightly. We can also make these boxes bigger if we want to, but I think they're just about the right size. All right, so now we've got our titles in. So this one is fine, that's where we want it. This one is fine, but we need to do something with this one. So let's go into our second one. So I'm actually going to disconnect number 1 and number 3 at the moment, just to so the computer's not kind of calculating this as well. So what we want to do first is flip it on 2 axes. So we're going to flip it vertically and horizontally, and then we need to move our text, and we need to change our kind of the way the text is coming in, because at the moment it's coming in the same as the other ones, and we want to kind of reverse it because it's facing the other way. Okay, so first of all, we'll go into our group, and we will go into our here, and after this second merge again, we'll add a transform like we did before. So now in this transform, we can flip it vertically first of all, and then bring it back up like this. And then we can flip it horizontally as well, and then we can bring that back in here. Okay, and now we'll go back to our main transform here, and then we can bring this one up here where we want it, somewhere like this. So it's about the windows, so we can put it there. But let me show you what happens here. So if we let this one play, it comes on, and it comes in the same way as the other one. Let's move our boxes first. So go into the group, and we added in our call out title, we added 2 cuts, and these cuts basically determine where it's visible. So the first one here on this side, and what we'll do is just move these. So I'm going to move this one over here like this, and basically I'm just going to reverse everything, and this one I will move over here. Oops, because I want to reverse everything. And we now need to make our animation go the other way. So at the moment, our kind of white box comes in from the left. I want it to come in from the right. So here is fine, because this is where it's like finished. But this first keyframe, rather than it being this side, I want it to be this side. So we can move it over here until it disappears. And then we'll do the same with the other one. So our orange box. Now at the moment, our orange box comes in from the right, but we want it to come in from the left. So again, this point it's okay. In fact, at this point, we're going to move it over here actually. So we'll grab this one and move it here. And then at the first point here, at the moment it's going that way, we want it to go the other way. So we'll grab this and move it over here until it's gone. Okay, so now it's coming in the similar way or the same way to the other call out titles, but just reversed. So now we obviously need to move our text as well. So this one can come over a little bit here. And then our subtitle can come over as well, somewhere like this. Okay, so let's just see what that looks like. Okay, that looks all right, I think. So let's just bring in the others. We could probably tweak this, yeah, so our line actually probably needs to come down. So we can grab our line and just bring it down so it's more in the center. And then close that one. Let's plug the others back in. Okay, now let's go in and move these keyframes to offset our animation. At the moment, they all come in right at the beginning of the clip. So this one up here on the top left, I want to come in at frame 25. So I'll move our cursor here to frame 25. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ungroup these for now, just so we can see what's going on. Let's just move them up here. And what I want to do is highlight all the nodes which have animation keyframes. So I've animated the inner circle, outer circle, the mask paint, the white box, orange box, and the two brightness and contrasts, which we used for our fades. So with all those highlighted, I can go into the keyframe editor and make sure here on the right that you have only show selected tools, because then it will just show the ones you've just selected in the node view. So I can drag over these keyframes now and then left click on one of them and move it until the first of these keyframes lands on frame 25. Whoops, go on back there. Okay, good. So that's the first one. Now let's do the second one. So I will regroup these as well. And then the second one here, and just move it up here, we'll ungroup it. And again, inner circle, outer circle, and I'm just here left clicking, holding control or command down and left clicking. So grab all of those and again go into the keyframe editor, and this time we'll go to frame 125. So let's adjust this here, and you can see over on the right there where it says the number of the keyframe you are. Then we'll highlight all these and drag these over until the first keyframe there is on 125. Okay, good. And then we'll regroup these. And we'll do the last one as well. So let's just again ungroup these and select inner circle, outer circle, mask paint, two white boxes, or one white box, one orange, and two brightness and contrasts. Go up to the keyframe editor and we'll move forward here to 225, frame 225, highlight them all and left click on one of them and drag over the keyframes till we get it in the right place like that. Okay, good. So now when we start it, yeah, the first one comes on here, second one comes on over here, then the third one comes on. So let's go back to the edit page now. All right, we'll just let this render. So it might take a while, so I will speed things up. Okay, so there we go, it's rendered. Now let's play it back. So in this tutorial, you've tracked 3 points on this house here, and then we've added callout titles to these 3 points, and then we've manipulated those callout titles by adding transforms and flipping and changing keyframes, and then we've gone into our keyframe editor and we've offset those keyframes so that one comes on and then the next one and then the next one. Okay, that's it. I hope this was useful. I hope you learned something from it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.